SoCalQOL. How we doing today? It is Transformation Tuesday, and we are ready to show you how we are transforming and hopefully get you to transform too. But hey, I hope everyone's having a great beginning of the week. Hopefully everyone got to spend some time off for Martin Luther King Day. If you didn't and you had to work, it's all good because I'm sure you made some good money because other people were off, including USPS and the banks. So yeah, we're going to jump right into it. I'm excited because the fact that we literally just did one of these on Thursday, but I have so much information that I need to share to the point where I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait till Thursday because we got some great information. We got some great stats, some great data, some pictures, but I also, no, I have this horror story to share with you guys. And I don't want to ruin your appetite. So if you're eating or you're drinking something, please go ahead, continue to enjoy that. But be forewarned, but by the end of this, you are going to probably not want to keep eating or drinking. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to drink. Cheers. Okay, so we are in week 3 of our transformation. I shouldn't say transformation, but hashtag 365 experiment. And the great thing about this experiment is it's not perfect. We don't have to be perfect to essentially enjoy it and learn from it and gain the benefits from it, because that's not the point. The point isn't to be perfect. The point isn't to do it for 365 every single day. And we diversify the things that we're doing because when you do fail at one of them, you still got 7 others that you're doing well, or even half. Even if you only did 4, you have no idea how much that means to you, because these are things that make us happy, that make us feel good, feel very positive about our lives and where we're at and how we're treating our bodies, how we're trying to build up our quality of life and increase our overall wellness. So kudos to anyone who is doing this, will do it in the future, or yeah, I think doing these kinds of things is important, because if I don't do it, I'm not gonna be able to share my own experiences with you. I'm not gonna be able to sit on a podcast and talk about it like I know it. Even if I could hypothesize about the fact that, oh yeah, if you do walk every day, odds are you'll lose 5 pounds a week, especially if you're in the quote unquote obese category. And I was even in the obese category when I didn't even think I was in the obese category. So I know the numbers are kind of skewed, but who cares? So all that to be said, we are going to jump right in with some pictures. And I'm going to leave this one small because I've already looked at it on my big screen that I have right here, and it's not pretty. I don't like seeing armpit hair, and it's just, you can tell what I look like from the little picture right here. So, but we'll get to the bigger pictures in a sec. But as you can see, not much change, really not much change. I honestly, if I squint my eyes, it doesn't look any different. But when we look at the stats, when we look at the information that we're recording every single day, compare it over the week, compare it over the year, we're seeing changes. We're seeing what it's doing. We're going to hear stories or things that, I recollect, from sleeping to how I felt, to what I went through, to motivation I felt, to the stress I had to go through. And that stuff is all a part of the process. It's not about just how it looks, but I think it's important to also look at it, because I should get comfortable with seeing my shirt off. I should get comfortable with sharing a picture of me with my shirt off. And once we get to the end of the year, it's gonna fucking blow our minds. So, and I know that for a fact. I don't have to even question it. But yeah. So I think the only other things that I can really see a difference in is like my pecs are definitely more booby in the left side, which is the first week, than the right side, which is now. And so that's huge because no dude wants boobs. He wants definition. He wants some kind of muscle and some meat. So and then as always the belly fat. The belly fat's going away. Um, and even like the side handles, love handles. But other than that, I mean, the stomach's still caved in a little bit, and yeah, nothing crazy. The arms are kind of the same. I mean, the right one looks a little bit thinner than the left, but not by much. I am up to 18 push-ups now instead of 15. Woohoo! But but yeah. So let's get into the next slide. If I can find it. Okay, there we go. And now we're gonna boop. We're gonna switch it up. All right, I might have to shrink this. Okay. So this is a body fat percentage website. If you do need the website for some reason, you can't find something like this, like just leave a message or leave a comment, and I'll make sure to respond. But yeah, the cool thing about this was that it actually asked me about something other than my weight and then my waist circumference. So what's funny though is that the other three things, wrist, hip, and forearm, are actually only for the women. So for the guys out there, if you care about that stuff, great. Put it in there. It doesn't do anything, but I took a screenshot of it because I'm like, oh, I should probably remember what my wrist, hip, and forearm size is, at least in the beginning of this experiment. So here it is. And as you can see, 36 waist. Now, obviously that doesn't kind of compare to my waist size for like my jeans, because that's like 32, maybe 34. I can't really remember. But yeah, when I do the circumference for my waist, I do it around my belly button, which obviously we never wear our pants around our belly button unless we're up in a costume. So yeah, 36-inch waist. My wrists were 7. My hip. So I just did like the widest part of my body, other than my shoulders, obviously. But the widest part the widest part I could find on my hips is what I did. So I kind of had to like drop trowel a little bit. But yeah, and then the forearm just kind of like around where my tattoo is, kind of like right in the middle of that. So if that gives you a little reference. But yeah, and then we're gonna actually jump to another place really quick. This is this is for the BMI. Now, I actually just did this because one, I wanted to confirm that my scale is somewhat accurate, because I don't know, like maybe I put my height in wrong or whatever, but at least on the scale. But no, it was basically accurate. So I'm 6'1", or like 6.5, but it doesn't let you go in between. So 6'1", and 173 is basically my weight right now. So we've lost like 6 pounds in 2 weeks. So I don't know if you care about that. I don't know if you think that's amazing, but I think it's pretty freaking dope, because all I'm doing is walking every day, eating between 1 and 7, and enjoying life. And I feel great, and I'm sleeping. I mean, what more can you ask for? So as you calculate it through this website, once again, if you want something like this, let me know. I'll send you a link. But yeah, 22.8 is our good old BMI. Now, here's the fun part. So, and this kind of correlates to our hashtag 365 experiment, but it also connects to the good old Positively Unstoppable Challenge. I know we mentioned that in yesterday's podcast, so hopefully you got a chance to see it. But yeah, we're doing the positivelyunstoppable.com challenge. It's a challenge that essentially you start it before the 31st or on the 31st or whatever you want to do. You sign up, you start your 16-week adventure, so 4 months, and when you sign up, you tell them your goal. Like, what is your goal? If you want to hear my goal, I will say it right now. Basically says, I'm currently doing the hashtag 365 experiment with at SoCalQOL, where we execute one task in the 8 types of wellness every day. I would love to show the DDPY community that the physical, mental, and spiritual tasks I do can greatly impact my quality of life. Tasks include stretching, yoga, walking, hiking, waking up early, measuring body pressure, AM and PM, my weight, whitening teeth, doing push-ups, logging food, taking vitamins, spending quality time with my wife, and praying and meditating. Hope to inspire others through your challenge so we can change the standard of health, comfort, and happiness experienced by all individuals and groups. So the only thing I haven't done yet is kind of calculate exactly how much weight I want to lose and or what I want my BMI to be and my body fat percentage to be, or even my muscle percentage to be. And so I got to figure that out basically by the end of Tuesday. Otherwise, I need to know before I go. So that's what we're going to do. But I might put that in the paragraph somewhere. It's already 100 words. That's like the max for the description of your goal. But yeah, I'll figure it out. But yeah, the goal is to make something that's specific, measurable, attainable, or achievable, is practical, all that stuff. And that's basically what the 365 experiment is, So can't really complain there. And so, yeah, so to come back full circle to this, the reason why I looked this up is because I do not want to go below, which I physically probably can't, but 18.5, you're in an unhealthy BMI. So pretty much right below where this number is where I don't want to be. So 140 pounds. If I was 140 pounds, I would be really, 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 really underweight. Or I would be in an unhealthy BMI. So that's kind of why you're seeing this at 141 with a 18.6 BMI, is because that's like the lowest I can go. So I wanted to make sure I knew that I physically couldn't go that low, not only because it's probably physically impossible for me, but also because it's not healthy. So to me, that's more important than anything. So I got to figure out more of the numbers. I mean, I've only been, at least recently, my lowest was 158. The only other time I can remember when I was an adult that I was lower, that was like 155. So that's 15 pounds less than that. So, and I plan on gaining muscle through the rest of the year. So who knows? Maybe if I lose, like 30 more pounds in fat, cool, but I'm going to gain hopefully 10 to 20 pounds of muscle. That's the goal, So I know, granted, like, is it a pound of fat is this big, but a pound of muscle is this, or a pound of muscle is this big and a pound of fat is this big? The ratio is way, like you can gain more weight and it, it'd be, is it more pounds? I'll look that up later. But all in all, I just know it's harder to build muscle. So even at 141, if I even got physically that low because I lost weight/fat, I'm going to gain muscle. So there's probably physically no way for me to get to like 120 and then add 20 pounds of muscle, if that makes sense. So all in all, that's what I got for my lowest BMI. Now we're coming back to the fat percentage. What's interesting about this is my scale app is not like this. My scale app does not say that I am 18% in my fat percentage, it says I'm like 18. Sorry, what did I say? 18. 24%. It doesn't say I'm 24%. It says I'm 18%. So either I put in my weight wrong or my I don't know. It's just shooting, it's just shooting an electro pulse through my body to get the number. So it's not accurate, but like I said, I always look at the gauge. Like if it starts at a certain number and goes down, I know I'm losing fat. If it goes up, I know I'm gaining fat. So that's the important part, but I can do the extra effort to calculate something like that. So all we need is the weight and the waist circumference for guys, but for the girls, you got to fill out the rest. So if we are at 24%, which is fine, I need to get down, or at least the ratio that I made was my 155 weight, which is the lowest I've ever been. And the waist circumference at 31 is at a 14% body fat percentage. So to me, if I can get to that, I think I'll be really happy, especially if 15 to 20 pounds of that weight is muscle. So, and a 31 waist, like whatever, I don't really care about the waist size. It's just to compute it, you have to do it that way. Odds are, if I'm 155, my waist is going to be a lot smaller than 36. So I just kind of did the numbers. And so the lowest waist I want to go to is 31. Probably the lowest weight I'm physically able to go down to is 155. But with the muscle, odds are it's going to be higher. If I lose more fat, then hopefully we can stay around there. It's all about just, building the muscle, losing the bad fat, and just feeling good, being able to eat enough food every day, all that good stuff. But, with the fact that we're just doing push-ups, just walking, hiking, I am integrating some more pull-ups, probably didn't do some deadlifts, and I'm going to stay away from planking because I'm doing yoga. So I don't really need to just do a plank for 2 minutes. It's, I don't think it's worth it, but all right. We are going to hop into the stats, the statistics. So as you can see, on Thursday, somebody didn't work out. That's a no-no. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it could have been worse, but it could have been no bar at all. But 84 minutes is my average, so good hour and a half-ish. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the numbers. Nothing crazy. Haven't gone on a hike yet, but I just met up with a friend who really wants to go. So I'm going to make that kind of like a priority for at least till the end of the month. I should at least go hiking at least once. And all hiking really does is just, to me, it just accelerates what I'm already doing. So I could walk for 5 days straight, 5 miles each, and, make a good chunk or take a good chunk out of my weight or whatever. But if I go hiking like for 3 to 4 or 5 miles on one day, like it'll knock out a lot of weight, and it'll definitely make me feel better because it just like kind of purifies you. You're sweating more, and you're getting winded, but it's only because you're doing the good work. It's one thing to like be winded because you're struggling to run freaking 5 miles versus just taking it easy, enjoying the ride while you're hiking, looking at nature. Like I love that. But yeah, once again, didn't work out on Thursday. Stand hours. Yeah, even though on Thursday I didn't walk, I definitely got the second highest in everything else. So I could have been walking a lot. I didn't run my app. That's a chance. That's a possibility too. I'm pretty sure though there was one day I didn't walk. I know the week before I didn't walk on that Friday, so I just assumed, because if you don't remember, you don't remember. But yeah, sometimes when I go to Disneyland, even like I don't turn on my little app. But 13-hour average for standing, that's pretty good. Walking and running distance, 7.8 miles, not too shabby. Um, Granted, there was one day that I walked 12.5 miles. I think that's, yeah, accumulating from like everything, from even like not using the workout app, because yeah, I've never walked 12.5 miles in a workout. But but yeah, just showing, active lifestyle, which is always good. Active energy. So we almost got up to 1,500, which is crazy. And even on the day that we didn't necessarily work out, we almost hit 500, which 500 is usually the norm I get with a workout. So I was still walking. I just didn't do my normal walk during the day. But average is 926. Flights climbed. So that Thursday, I actually climbed four levels. So I'm gonna guarantee that I was at Disneyland, because the only place I've ever go that's 4 stories is the parking structure at Disneyland. So we're still being active, people. We just didn't run our stupid app on our phone. But average is 2 floors. I really don't go high in the air ever. I don't climb stairs ever. And Saturday and Sunday, as you can see, I did a garage sale. I did a long podcast. I didn't go to Disneyland that day, did I? No, I went to dinner. I went to dinner on Sunday. Anyways, I was always on one floor. I was always on zero. But it's all good. I don't mind. Steps, almost 25,000 on that Friday. Can't remember what I was doing that Friday off the top of my head, but 15,000 steps is an average. Not too shabby. 5,000 on that Thursday. If you guys remember, we talked about the VO2 max thing. I actually went back and looked at last year's stats, because by the end of, like, by October, November, so the end of last year, I was basically, yeah, 155 or 158. I was walking still and doing all that good stuff before the drop off, before I, had um, all that bad holiday food, and stopped walking really. But yeah, I was around the 42s, 43s. So we've been up there, and I think I mentioned I want to get into the 40s. So we're almost there, guys. We're 39.5 versus, I think the first week we were like 38 average. So if every week it's a percentage, damn. But workouts. So obviously you can see Thursday, no. And all the other ones, one was 2 hour, or three of them were 2 hours. The other two were hour and a half. So average is about hour 55. Carbohydrates. Now this is what's really cool. I actually stayed away from really shitty food, because usually there's one day where it's like, boo! And so we didn't do that this week. Clap, 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 clap. So I'm impressed. The max I did was like 45, so that's great. Um, I wouldn't be surprised, when I weigh myself on, for the first weigh in for the week, week 4. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like 170, 171, because when you don't eat those carbs, man, your weight just drops. So that does correlate, though. I'm not saying don't eat carbohydrates. What I'm saying is I didn't eat the shitty carbohydrates, and if I did eat carbohydrates, it was probably salads, seeds, nuts, you know, the stuff that you put in a big ass salad, pieces of apple or celery or green onion and your eggs, that little stuff. But yeah, I'm very impressed with that. That's a really good reading. But 30 grams as an average, that's amazing. If it was 25, I would be super impressed. Dietary cholesterol, still need to look into this, but that Thursday, that Saturday were the lowest. And the days that it's up, I'm guessing it's like because I ate pork rinds or canned tuna or chicken or sodium, sodium, sodium. But or a lot of the fats, the bad fats, the butters and the mayo. But I have been substituting avocado. I've been throwing coconut oil, at least into my steaks when I cook my steaks, because I feel like it doesn't it doesn't soak into the meat as much as butter does. Butter gives it that flavor, but it doesn't really like blend. The only thing about cooking with coconut oil though is it freaking gets everywhere. Not clean it right after, because it hardens and then it just turns into just white shit everywhere. It's like you freaking snowed in your sink. So nobody wants that. If you do that, if that happens, just run some hot water, put the dish under it, and it'll just wipe clean. Don't try to rub it off. Don't try to like peel it, or that's a nightmare. So just use hot water, even if it's on a pan that you're not supposed to use hot water on. It's not worth the effort to try to fix it without it. Just use that hot water. Dietary energy. So every day, man, we're in between 1,000 and 1,500 when it comes to our calorie burning diet energy. So that's cool. Dietary sugar, 13.2 grams. So obviously not the best type of carbs, but there's sugar and stuff. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come for you? Fiber. So 7.8 grams is the average. 3 days we got about 10. I think that was like my goal, right? I know 10 grams for saturated fats, for bad saturated fats is my goal. And then, but fiber could be 10. So you know what? We're going to talk about our horror story. So put your food down. Put your food down. If you're eating, I don't want you to puke. But yeah, so here's what happened. So Monday, I wake up later than normal. I get my coffee super late as well. I probably started drinking coffee at like 11, which is super late. I usually have coffee around 8:30 every day. And then I'll do like 2 French presses from 8 to 1. So that'll hold me over until I start cooking food. But yeah, so 1 o'clock rolls around. I eat my normal breakfast, which is basically like 4 eggs. I throw some cheese on top. I cook a little piece of steak, and I actually had enough. I had some smoked salmon slices saved up because I hadn't been eating it this weekend. So I was like, ooh, I can have 2 pieces of sliced salmon, Norwegian salmon. So I basically had that for breakfast, right? Then I grabbed some pistachios. I ate like 25 pistachios, which is an ounce, which ends up being 4 grams of carbs. It's terrible that I know off the top of my head, but I just know it because I log it. And so then I'm hanging out for a few more hours. My wife's about to go to work, and I was going to make a salad because I usually should have a salad every day because it not only gives me the glucose from my noggin to make sure my neurons are firing and I don't like get all sleepy. Because if you don't eat carbs, any carbs, you will need more sleep. And I used to sleep a lot when I was losing my 60 pounds. I would sleep 8-9 hours a day because I literally ate no carbs. But because my wife was like, I think she was taking a nap. So usually when I make a salad, I'm making a lot of noise because I'm dicing things, I'm cutting, I'm washing, I'm rinsing, I'm, mixing and tossing, like, so there's a lot of noise. But I remembered I had chicken wings from the day before from a dinner that I went to, and I always get double order of wings so that I can save them for the next day. And so, long story short, I decide to make the wings instead of the salad. So I don't know if you know where this is going, but, and granted, we were talking about fiber. So I eat the wings, I'm dipping it in this nice red hot, like buttery sauce, but we always get them dry so we can control the dippage, and that way it also, oh, sorry, one sec. Um, and that way it also, yeah, it also, it's better to save for later. Like you can reheat it and it won't be all like coated in the crap. And then when you heat it again, it's like it's burning the sauce on top of the wing. But you should really be eating just plain old hot sauce with your wings, anyways, or on occasion, some blue cheese, some ranch. They got a couple carbs in there, but if you want to spoil yourself. But yeah, so I eat the wings, and then my stomach feels a little iffy. I'm like, I know I should probably go to the bathroom before, because I was gonna go on a walk, and I was like, I was getting up there. It was like almost 4 o'clock, and I'm like, yeah, I want to get out before it's gets too dark, and I had to go to the post office even though they were closed. I was gonna drop off a package because they have a little slot, and long story short, I didn't eat the salad, and as I'm walking, I walked past the USPS. I walked for another like at least mile and a half. And then it hits me. And I don't know if you guys know that feeling when you have to go take a shit like super bad. But it's only happened like a handful of times because, like I said, I used to not eat any carbs because I was trying to lose a lot of weight. But, when you walk, it's a natural laxative. And I had coffee and I didn't eat any carbs. So it's like there was no fiber in me that day, when I was working out. I ate the fiber after the workout. I ate the 10 grams of fiber after the workout. So you guys, I have never had this feeling this bad. Like I know instantaneously I have to sit down. So I stop walking, stop moving. And this sounds hilarious, okay? But I'm in the middle of a residential area, okay? I'm not like walking past Carl's Jr. or a bank, or, I'm not really in public. I'm just out like in the residential area at this point. So Lord knows I'm not going to like knock on someone's house to like, hey, I know this is really weird, but can I drop a deuce in your bathroom? Because I haven't eaten carbs today and I didn't get enough fiber and now I have to really take a shit. So it's like, so I'm sitting there probably like 10 minutes, just trying to wait for the pain to stop. I'm saying prayers because I'm like, oh Lord, just make it stop. Just make it stop. Suppress the pain. Like, just let me get home. And, it's right before my wife got to work. So I text her and I'm like, shouldn't have eaten those wings. And she knew exactly what I meant because I've had this happen before. And she's come and pick me up sometimes. Can you believe that? Like at that time too, I was more into going to Disneyland and walking, because funny thing about walking at Disneyland is that there's bathrooms everywhere. So granted, you don't want to drop a deuce at Disneyland ever, but if you do have to go to the bathroom, the fact that there's just bathrooms everywhere is a huge plus. So I'm sitting there, I wait like another 5 more minutes, finally decide to make a go for it, to make a run for it. Not a run, but you know what I mean. I just push myself into the walking mode. And I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. And yeah, then I realized that because I was wearing gloves, and they're like fingerless gloves that are cloth, because it was windy, and I never like it when my hands are cold because I like to type on my phone, and it was getting a little darker. It was like 60, but it was still breezy, and don't make fun of me, but you can. But I realized that I left one of my gloves where I was sitting. So I was like, and I'd already walked like 10 blocks. So I was like, okay, either I let it go, get rid of the glove I have now, just throw it away, or I turn back and get it. So of course I turned back because I felt better, but obviously it wasn't like 100%. And so I walk to my glove because I found it. It was right next to where I was sitting. Start walking back, and at this point I'm breathing heavily, like I'm just trying to like keep calm, keep my body doing something other than just thinking about the fact that my stomach hurts really bad. And at that point I just thought to myself like, wow, I wonder if this is what contractions feel like, cuz I'm seriously like I'm super motivated into just breathing hard and consistently so that I don't like nothing happens. Like my body ignores the fact that it has to go to the bathroom and I get home. So I live by if you guys know Chapman University, and I'm walking like right by it where there's a railroad track, and I can see the railroad track, and I'm like, okay, great. Like once I get a block or two past the railroad track, I'm home free. It's like woohoo! Like light at the end of the tunnel. Boom! Hits me so fucking hard, and I drop. I'm like sit down, like butt on the ground, like I'm like on the curb pretty much. So but I'm like honestly like fetal position, but like trying not to look like I'm in fetal position. I'm like kind of like looking at my phone, like put my hood on because I had a jacket on, and I'm like pretending to like text or like listen to music, or I don't know. I just tried to make it look like I was doing something, but I wasn't like a freak who was or was unconstipated and had to go to the bathroom. So it was so bad. I don't remember it being this bad ever. And it was like it just felt like what it might feel like to go through the process of contractions, to have this thing that you want to just get out of you, and you're like, come on, save me. So another 10-15 minutes go by. I mean, the pain is just endless. Like I'm surprised I didn't just start like, dropping F-bombs and swearing and just, but I obviously didn't want to bring attention to myself. So long story short is we get through it. There was actually a train that finally came. So I know that kills like a good minute or two, because and then I was like, oh, if there's two of them, then it's going to take another 5 minutes. So I'm just breathing. I'm looking at the train, breathing, looking at the train, breathing. And then I finally I see one train go, still bing, 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 bing. So I was like, okay, once the next train passes, I'm just going to go for it. Because I'm like, at that point, I got to push through and somehow, get through the railroad tracks, get home, and go to the bathroom. So once I get to the tracks, it opens up. It's like, it's like heaven's gates just opening up for me. Oh, and I walk through, and I'm like, okay, great. Only 2 more blocks. I'm like, oh. And then, yeah, literally jam the key in the door, kick open the door, slam it behind me. I think I kicked my cat because it was pitch black in our house, and, got to the bathroom. It was actually so bad that I actually felt like I wanted to throw up too. So I don't know if you guys ever felt that before, basically throwing up from both ends. Obviously that's more of like a bad night drinking kind of thing. Man, thank God I didn't puke too, because I would have puked in the sink. But yeah. So moral of the story: you need to eat your fiber slash your carbs slash your. I know fiber actually is what makes you go to the bathroom, but I just needed something else other than fat and protein in my body before I went on that walk, and of course I did not. So I just realized, I wonder if I could zoom in on this better. I know I can zoom in, but is that better? You guys like that? No, I don't really like that. Let's leave it the same. Okay, so 7.8 grams of average fiber. Next slide. Sorry, that story probably took way too long. We got protein. I ate a lot of probably canned chicken and tuna on those Monday and Wednesday. But yeah, yeah. Saturated fats. So once again, even though it says 30, 30, 30, 20, 25, and then Saturday it was only like 5, which was crazy. I think that day I got the guacamole thick burger from Carl's Jr., but I got it lettuce wrapped. Everyone, you have to go to Carl's Jr. if you're eating out fast food and you need protein style something, but you don't want to go in and out. Definitely go to Carl's. They'll literally wrap anything, any of their sandwiches. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they would wrap like a breakfast sandwich because they literally can wrap anything. But their thick burger, the quarter pound, or sorry, the third pound and half pound, it's a super dope deal. Yeah, it's the same price as a freaking meal, but it's worth it because it's really good. And you know, I got the guacamole one, so I got my good saturated fats. But that's literally probably the only saturated fats I had all day. I don't remember what I did that night. But anyways, yeah, so for those 30 grams, or the average being 25, there's on most days I eat 10 to 15 grams of good HDL saturated fats. So I just compute that. I'll like knock off 15 for sure every day, basically, other than Saturday. And because that's my routine. I just have like this, I just have the same routine. I like the same things and I can eat them every day for the most part. Um, but yeah, 15 grams down. So, you know, on those 30 days, I might have went over a little bit, but we're keeping them below, at or below 10 grams, which is great. 10 grams of bad uh, saturated fats, the LDLs. Sodium, Friday was the worst. Can't remember what I did on Friday, but I could always recheck later. That's the beauty. If I ever want to go back, I can go back and look at what I ate. Um, but 2,300, I mean that's pretty bad. I think the goal is 12 to 15, so definitely above average. But it honestly, what it is, it's the canned stuff. I'm a sucker for canned tuna and canned chicken. Um, I'll probably need to figure out a new way to do that. Um, I mean, even if you get like bagged chicken, like, but it's not like chunks of breast, you know. But maybe I could try. Maybe I could try to cook some chicken breasts and then mush it up for my chicken salad. Um, total fat, mostly, yeah, 90 is the average. It's great. Love it. Um, anything between 50 and 100, I'm like golden. So I'm doing higher than I probably would normally do. All right, now we're getting into the sleep. So sleep wise, this is a lie. Because I definitely didn't wake up at 6:30 every day, but that's just how the Apple app works because it's connected to my watch. So I did I did go to sleep late these few nights. Like Monday night, I was at a bar till like 1 o'clock, and it was right next to our house, so I was able to go to sleep right after. But um, had a Lagavulin in there, nice and neat. But yeah, so the other ones I went to sleep before at midnight, but yeah, the 6:30 a.m. thing, it's, you know, for most of those days I was sleeping in longer. Um, I mean, I guess I could like make it higher, or I could just wake up early every day, which is the point of our experiment. So hold me accountable, y'all. Make fun of me or something. But yeah, the average being 6. I'm guessing it was more like 7 this week. So, body measurements. So we did this because of the Positively Unstoppable challenge. So I got my waist circumference, which was 35.5 or 36. My height, 185.42. For some reason, I feel like 6'1". I don't know. Like I'm probably more like 6.5. So I try to think of the centimeters of it. So I might be like 184, 182, 181. But as far as like 6'1" is 185. So, but 18% body fat, we already talked about that being probably 24% instead of 18. Body mass index 22.8, which is pretty accurate. Lean body mass, which is kind of cool. I actually might want to look into that before I set my muscle percentage goals, because that might help me decide what that's going to be. But yeah, just thought I'd show you guys that because I don't think I've shown you guys that slide before. We got our heart rates, max 167. Actually, you're going to see something funny coming back to my horror story. So heart rate 44 to 167. We should keep our max to be like 145. So I don't know what I need to do to make sure that doesn't happen, but for the most part, you can see it stays around 150, but I don't want to do more than like 147? 180 minus your age. That's like your max heart rate you want to go for. Because anything else above that's going to burn more glucose. Then we got our lows, our resting heart rates, 54 to 57, which isn't too bad. Walking average, 82 to 120. Because like I said, I've stopped kind of typing on my phone a lot. Just I'm trying to walk more so I can get those VO2s up. And then our workouts, 49 from probably yoga to 167. And heart rate variability. So here's where the horror story comes back in. So literally, my heart rate, as I'm trying to hold it all in, my heart rate goes up to friggin' 100 beats per minute. It's so funny. But that's why it peaked, because I was literally dying on the toilet, or not on the toilet, but I was dying up until the toilet. But that's crazy, right? So my heart rate variability, the measure of variation in the time interval between heartbeats. So yeah, that was nuts. I hope I never have to go through that again, but you got to be smarter. Got to eat a salad before you walk sometimes, people. Or walk early in the morning, because I'm pretty sure there's nothing inside of you to get rid of. I think we only have a few more slides, but the 120, 130, 124, I probably only did one measure those days. Like we've talked about, it just kind of averages out better when you do it more than one time a day. And there were definitely a few days last week where I wasn't able to do it twice. So, but yeah, I mean, we're still in the green. We're still in the optimal, normal area. I would love it. Like, hopefully 1 week it'll just be all optimal. That'd be huge. And we got our little weight graph from our cardio app, which I always love. But yeah, our weight's going down, people. BMI is going down, and our fat is, staying consistent for this week. But yeah, I think that's the last one. Oh, nope. Ooh, hey. 172.4 is my weight currently, and muscle percentage 16. I'll have to look into that. It says I'm down negative 5.1 pounds in the last 7 days. Ba-bam, people. And then as far as BMI goes, I'm in the normal category. Like I said, underweight is basically like 18 and a half, at least for me. But yeah, And that's just the snapshot of this week. Yay! So, yeah, guys, just super stoked that we accomplished a good amount this week. You know, I don't expect to move mountains here, and these weekly updates aren't going to be crazy impressive, but the long-term goal is going to outweigh the fact that, you know, like the long-term goal is going to impress us. I know it. But I think it's important to document this not only for you guys, but even for something like this challenge, we need to have documentation so that we can show people the process and be show people it's realistic. Things like what we're doing are realistic, and they're practical, and they're simple. Simple things can, and if you do them consistently, can move mountains, people. So yeah, weekly, not moving mountains. Yearly, moving mountains. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to share. Just hope that these transformation Tuesdays / Thursdays are helping. I might actually, because I realize I don't have an environmental podcast day, because I just forgot, I guess. And I already have. I just recently added. Crap. Was it occupational? I think I did occupational Thursday, so I've added that in there. But I might add environmental as well. So we might not do any throwbacks, and we might get rid of transformation Thursdays and just replace it with occupational and environmental. But all that to be said, yeah. So we might keep these on Tuesdays. But like I said as well, we just did it on Thursday, but there was so much information, I just felt like we had to share for Tuesday. Had to get out that horror story while it was still fresh. But appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day / week as far as transformation goes. And as always, like, subscribe, comment, message us, DM us, say hi, send this to anyone you think it would add value to, because that's what we're here for. And we'll call it a wrap. Much love.